Everyone likes a good old-fashioned photo mystery, one that can be deconstructed and solved, like the Solway Firth spaceman. I actually made a video about that a couple of years ago, and I was pretty much able to prove that the Solway Firth spaceman was, in fact, the photographer's wife. It was a fun video to make, deconstructing a photograph, giving my opinion, and tying the video up at the end in a neat little bow is rather satisfying. But some photographs just can't be explained. And I've put together a list of 10 of the very best ones just for you. Keep the lights on. Some of these can get a little creepy. These photographs cannot be explained. Initially, there's nothing out of the ordinary with the first photograph on my list. It was taken in 1900 at a Belfast linen mill. 15 young women dressed as you would expect. This is Ellen Donnelly, and there appears to be a hand resting on her shoulder. Her great-granddaughter recently shared the photo online. But who does that hand belong to? All visible arms are firmly crossed. Suggestions for the ghost hand have been proposed by enthusiasts who have studied the photo. Maybe a long camera exposure was to blame. No one can be certain. Some have suggested some sort of early photo manipulation, citing an unnatural outline on Ellen's arm. Despite many looking for conclusive proof of fakery, neither of these theories can be proved. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is one of the most famous ghost photographs ever taken. Photographers went to the mansion in 1936 to take photographs for Country Life magazine. The photograph clearly shows a ghost-like figure descending the stairs. Some say it's the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, who died there in 1726. There has been fierce speculation about this photograph for decades. Lady Walpole was the sister of Britain's very first Prime Minister, Robert Walpole. She was married to Charles Townshend, who was known to be a violent man. The story goes that she had an affair, and he punished her by locking her in rooms at Raynham Hall. Unlike many ghost photos, the photographers claim to have seen the ghost at the scene whilst they were shooting. The photographer was the much respected Captain Hubert C. Provond, working with his assistant Indra Shearer. They claim they had already taken a photo of the stairs and were setting up for a second shot. Shearer said he saw a vapoury form gradually assuming the appearance of a woman and instructed Captain Provond to take off the lens cap. Shearer pressed the trigger to activate the camera's flash. This image has never been explained. Some say that the image is a double exposure, but both men maintained that the apparition they saw was genuine. If they had staged an elaborate hoax, then they took their secret with them to their graves. The Ilkley Moor Alien has never been disproved. A retired police officer was walking across the moor when he saw a 4-foot-tall, dark green humanoid with long arms and a large head. He took a photograph. He captured a blurry image that became one of the UK's most debated UFO cases. Moments later, he said he saw a craft rise from the moor and vanish. The photograph was verified by Kodak. They saw no signs of tampering. The blurry image means it's difficult to identify the image. Is it a human? An animal? Or maybe it's an alien. Or it could be a hoax. It could quite easily be a cardboard cutout. Ilkley Moor had always been known for UFO sightings, but that's often been put down to its close proximity to an Air Force base and Leeds Bradford Airport. The man who took the photograph was walking through the moor on his way to East Morton. He had his camera with him and a compass in case of fog, which did arrive. He walked up a small hill where he says he saw an odd-looking green figure just ahead of him, with an oversized head and long, thin arms. Apparently, the creature made a gesture for him to stay away, but our man took the photo before the creature disappeared into the fog. He said his compass ended up pointing in the wrong direction. Many call this a hoax, but it's recognised as one of the top 10 UFO incidents in the UK and cited as one of the most persuasive UFO incidents to ever occur. It remains unsolved. Many photographs have been taken of the Hessdalen Lights. The lights are a phenomenon in Norway's Hessdalen Valley, and they've been observed since the 1930s. Glowing orbs appearing as white, yellow, or red lights float, sway, and dart across the sky, lasting from seconds to hours. Hypotheses exist to explain what's going on, but none have been conclusively proven. Some scientists suggest a plasma formed by ionized air and dust. Maybe it's caused by atmospheric optics, causing unusual light refraction. Some say the valley itself creates a natural battery, causing electrical discharges from metallic minerals. No single explanation holds firm, and the light's unpredictable behaviour defies consensus. Since 1983, Project Hessdalen has been trying to get to the bottom of the mystery. It comprises scientists, researchers and volunteers from Norway and around the world. They're not there yet, and more research is needed, which makes all of these photographs from hessdalen.org unexplained. The skunk ape is a staple of southeast United States folklore, often compared to Bigfoot. So when two photographs and an anonymous letter arrived at the Sarasota Sheriff's Office, intrigue was immediately sparked. The story goes that an elderly lady was fed up with having apples stolen from her front porch. She went out and investigated with a camera and a flashlight, and these were the resulting images. They've been the subject of fierce debate ever since, but have never been conclusively proved to be a fake. Sightings of the supposed skunk ape have been going on in Florida and other southeastern parts of the US for almost a century. So certain are some that these creatures exist that a law was proposed in 1977 making it illegal to take, possess, harm or molest anthropoids or humanoid animals. That law didn't get onto the books, but the speculation around these photographs haven't gone away. Some suggest it's a misidentified bear or possibly an escaped primate. Others suggest a staged hoax, but the fact that there's a different pose in each photograph complicates that theory. My contribution to this mystery is that it could be a case of pareidolia. This photograph in particular looks like the rear of a four-legged animal, and the face resembles an entire owl. Maybe that's the explanation, and our brain is making up the rest. Skunk Ape fans in Florida can have that one for free. But for now, this photograph remains unexplained. Air Force officer Sir Victor Goddard arranged for a photograph to be taken of his men in 1919. He published the photograph in a 1975 book. He remembered the date of the photograph because that was the date of Freddy Jackson's funeral. He was a mechanic who was killed by aircraft propellers 2 days earlier. A ghostly face can clearly be seen behind one of the men. Goddard himself, along with other members of the squadron, said that they were able to easily identify the face. It was mechanic Freddy Jackson. No evidence of tampering has ever been found. The ghostly figure isn't wearing a hat, which seems to rule out double exposure. Debunkers have raised red flags though. They've been unable to find evidence in records for Freddy Jackson, but Goddard and many of his men say he did exist and that it's him. What do we make of this? Why would a respected Royal Air Force officer make up such a thing? Could it really be true that Jackson, unaware of his death, joined the group portrait on the day of his funeral? We'll never know, because this photograph is, and probably always will be, unexplained. In 1966, the Reverend Ralph W, a retired Canadian clergyman, visited the Queen's house at Greenwich, England. He wanted to photograph the elegant Tulip Staircase. It's a renowned, unsupported spiral staircase, and he wanted to capture its architectural beauty for his wife, who was with him for the visit. On the day, the staircase had been cordoned off, but he took his snapshot and his wife was happy. He got the photo developed when he got home to Canada and was stunned to find a shrouded, translucent figure gripping the railing, seemingly ascending the stairs. His wife confirmed no one was present during the shot, and the staircase was inaccessible. Kodak examined the negative and found no evidence of tampering. Debunks have been attempted on this photograph. It's been suggested that double exposure could be to blame, or maybe an unusual photographic artifact. Paranormal supporters of the photo make the point that the Queen's house, built in 1616, has a history of paranormal reports, including phantom footsteps and apparitions. Some have even suggested that this photograph is just a blurry person, which has been caused by low shutter speed. They confidently tried to recreate the ghost image using the same type of camera on a low shutter speed. It didn't work. Reverend Hardy and his wife always maintained that they were alone at the foot of the staircase. As of the time of this recording, this image continues to defy explanation. Please allow me just 20 seconds to plug this channel. Very Nearly Interesting is a brand new channel and I need all the help I can get. Please click that like button if you've enjoyed this video. That's how YouTube knows you like it and they'll show it to more people. And please consider subscribing. That way I might see you again. And now you can support the channel on Patreon, where you'll find exclusive content and a grateful me. There's a link in the channel description. In 1924, the SS Watertown sailed from California to New York via the Panama Canal. During the voyage, two crewmen, James Courtney and Michael Meehan, died from inhaling gas fumes whilst cleaning out a cargo tank. Both men were buried at sea. The next day, crew members reported seeing ghostly faces of the deceased sailors in the waves, trailing the ship for days. Then came reports from the men that they had seen the faces on board the ship of their lost fellow crewmen. 11 years later, the story was told in a company magazine, which prompted Captain Keith Tracy to take some photographs. One revealed the eerie faces, unmistakably resembling Courtney and Meehan, according to their shipmates. This photograph was displayed at the company's New York office for years afterwards. Some say this photograph has been debunked, and they point to sharp edges in the image, suggesting a cut and paste job. But sailors aboard the SS Watertown attested to the photograph's authenticity, and a detective agency was employed who said they found no evidence of tampering with the negative. Over 100 years later, this photograph is still being debated, and with no conclusive answer, it remains to this day unexplained. The Bronte sisters are three of England's greatest writers. They're responsible for works such as The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, Wuthering Heights, and Jane Eyre. They were all dead by 1855. We have paintings of them, but unusually, not a single photograph. Around 15 years ago, a photograph was unearthed from a private Scottish collection. On the reverse were the French words Londres, Le Sœur Bronte, London, the Bronte sisters. Speculation immediately gripped the literary world. Is this the Bronte sisters? The photograph was immediately debunked by the Bronte Society, largely because the technology to produce this type of photograph wasn't available until the 1850s. Two of the sisters were dead by 1849. Enthusiasts of this photograph refused to take no for an answer and have built up a treasure trove of evidence and speculation that this is, in fact, the Brontes. For every debunk, researchers have countered it with compelling and contradictory evidence. All of the evidence for this photograph is contained in a previous VNI video. I'll leave a clickable link to it at the end, but the debate rages on. Researchers have come tantalizingly close, but have never definitively proved that this is the Bronte sisters. Without that one piece of smoking gun evidence, this photograph may always remain unexplained. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button. That way YouTube will show it to more people. And please consider subscribing. That way I might see you again. And please have a look at some of the other content on the channel. There's lots of interesting things on there. Well, very nearly interesting.